Hello, everyone. I'm Cheldin Barlatt Rumer, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. I have an amazing new friend to share with all of you. I'd love for her to share her first and last name and the name of her business.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited, Sheldon. So my name is Lisa Pachence, and my business is LP Coaching, which is a life and leadership coaching business that specializes in serving underfulfilled, overachieving women entrepreneurs and executives to get what they want.
I need all of you. All of it. All of it. All of it. Underfulfilled. Underfulfilled. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit, just because, again, we have, I'm blessed to know a lot of amazing women that have wonderful titles on LinkedIn, beautiful stationery, wonderful cards, and work for amazing companies, but they're still underfulfilled. Let's talk about, the balance between having what you think you need versus feeling the way you should, right? So let's dive into that a little. Are those the types of women that you're working with?
Oh, yes, preach. There's so many people out there, and not just women, men too. I mean, I just happen to focus on women because that was who I was attracting in my life when I first started out, and I am one. So, the relatability factor comes. But the reason why I ended up focusing on underfulfilled overachievers is because I am one. I was one. I ended up hiring a coach because I was underfulfilled, but I had all these achievements. I've been promoted, and I was like, well, I should love my life, right? I mean, I took all these steps, and I as one person put it, was falling up the stairs of achievement. I would bump my knees and fall up and be like, oh, I guess I'll go in this direction because that's what I feel like I should do. But I was always driven by a script. This is what I needed to do. This is who I needed to be. These were my strengths. I was an athlete growing up, and I know me and you bonded over that. And so I was so used to having, training set up and practices set up. I was used to someone else dictating what I should be doing, what I should be working on, what I should be practicing. That when it came to my own career after college, because I wasn't a professional soccer player, I didn't understand how to dig deep and know what I really wanted. I went after what I thought I wanted. And what happened was, even if I was successful in those things that I thought I should be doing, it was not fulfilling to the extent that I wanted it to be. And I was living a life where I was happy to a certain extent, but it still wasn't following my inner compass. And so I was finding little aggravations in my life. Like, well, why couldn't I be motivated to have my own creative projects? Why wasn't I going out of my way to create a personal brand? Why wasn't I? Oh, well, it was because I didn't have an inner compass, and that inner compass wasn't on. It wasn't turned on. So I was underfulfilled in a way that I didn't understand, that was mysterious to me. And I didn't like talking about it because I was like, well, who am I to complain? Exactly. And then I met a coach, and she was like, girl, dream big.
Right.
Possibility.
Wow. No, I absolutely love this. I think it's so interesting. And we're in circles with women who feel this way. And I think that there's this bit of, dare I say, guilt in having what would be perceived as being lucky and being successful and having all of the ducks, what would be seen, in a row, and still feeling like you don't have enough, right? Still feeling that there's something missing. I battled with it, for years. It's a muscle that I train now, but like the formal athlete that we were, but I feel like that's the bigger piece. It's like, okay, Cheldin, you have the corner office, you have the family, but why are you still in this greed mode of like, I need more, and battling that? Like, so in the women that you work with, talk to me about the process. Cause I mean, I'm sure it's them, just like both of us had to come to terms with that, right? Like we had to like be prepared to work.
Yeah, totally. Well, a lot of it is undoing a vast amount of perfectionism and shoulds.
Oh,
A lot of us are just shoulding all over ourselves when it comes to running our life. We should ourselves in the foot.
oh.
It's everything is run by shoulds, and that's what creates guilt. I think we don't understand how to access our intuition, and so a lot of times we'll just plaster perfection over our intuition and go, okay, I don't trust myself. It's not okay that I feel this way, that I feel like there should be more. I should just, just try to do as well as I can in what I have. And that creates a big disconnect between what we actually want and, the facade on the outside.
Yeah.
So when I start working with someone, the first step is to dive deep into what people really want, and sometimes that takes months to figure out. So if we were to wipe out all of the social constructs and the cultural conditioning, and we were on a different planet where everything was created for our own joy, what do you actually want to do? What would be supportive to your joy, to your fulfillment, to your self-expression? And oftentimes it comes down to that, to full self-expression. And I think that unfortunately perfectionism is such a disease in our culture, and it really disconnects us from ourselves, from our own ability to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to be expressed. And so that first layer of work together is starting to put cracks in that wall of this overachievement. If we were to put that down for a little bit and allow our intuition, access our intuition, it's actually giving us some good information. We just turn it off most of the time for fear that it's wrong or might embarrass us or lead down a pathway of failure. It's failure. I always tell my clients that perfectionism isn't built for us to get things wrong or to get things right. It's actually built to make us wrong and to feel bad about ourselves. It is such a nasty, self-fulfilling cycle of disempowerment. And so I do a lot of deconstructing perfection so we can do some good work.
Yeah, no, I think that there's so much, there's a distraction in it as well. I feel like, I don't know if you agree, in the perfection, right? If I keep working and working and working and working and work, I mean, oftentimes, you're spending so much time trying to get to this thing, this like intangible thing, that you didn't pay attention to the journey. Number one, you have no idea who you passed along the way or how you even got there. But I love the fact that you challenge people to sit in that, knowing that may not get the answer right away, right? So is there a level of you going through this process teaching people or reminding people of the importance of patience? Because perfectionists aren't necessarily the most patient people in this journey. I mean, that's something that I had to learn. Do you find that you come across clients like that?
Oh my God. You're so funny. It's so true. I mean, of course, if you have a perfectionist gene and that's your survival mechanism, of course you're not going to want to have patience with the process, because that means you have to suck for a little while at something. And perfectionism and sucking do not go hand in hand. In order to be patient with the process, you have to be willing to practice. As Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book, The Tipping Point, which is on that bookshelf over there, he talks about being able to deliberately practice something for like 10,000 hours in order to master a craft. 10,000 hours of getting something imperfect.
Right.
I coach a group of women on Thursdays. They're actually a group of wonderful network marketers that own these really big, robust downlines. And I challenge them to think about this question: what if what we need is imperfect leaders? What if that's exactly what we need? I think that if leaders were to bring vulnerability, authenticity, not knowing, being willing to lift people up, to ask questions and listen more than tell, I mean,
yes,
imagine how different things would be. And yes, patience comes with that. Like, in order to have patience, you have to allow for yourself not to have the answer and not to be right all the time. And human beings don't like that.
And there's a sense of approachability in that. There's a sense of like, okay, especially when you're building companies, you have these downlines, you're in this scenario. Those people that are looking to you as leadership also want to see that they can talk to you, that you're a real person. And, you know, that's part of, you know, you growing as a person and you growing and being able to understand that. I think that we want to get to the finish line. The perfectionist in all of us want to get to the finish line as quickly as possible. And to sit down with somebody said, okay, you're going to teach me how to be a leader. Let's go. I'd like to be a leader by the next meeting. Does that work for you? If that's good. And it's really about really focusing on what's inside of you so you can not only help yourself, but also help your business and those that work with and for you. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with you.
Totally. I love you so much. I love these conversations.
I'm telling you guys, to have conversations with like-minded people, there's really nothing better in the world than that. And then those who want to lift you up and then share in all of that, I think is so super important. I don't think that this is the last time you're going to be on our show, my darling. I think that I need more.
I think I need more Shell in my life too. I definitely do. And I imagine that you have to bring so much patience in the work that you do with your students as well, right? I mean, that must be something you take on every single day as a leader.
For sure. And I think that when we talk about helping people, and I think that it's because, you know, oftentimes I was them, you know, I was the entrepreneur that was focused on the wrong things. I was also the student that was focused on the wrong things. I was, you know, not using my strengths and really focusing on my weaknesses and leading with negatives and all of these things that you and I share with not only our clients, but our colleagues. You know, it goes back to our Division I days. It goes back to our athletic days about practicing and not being proficient and not being able to make the collegiate team at 12, right? You needed years of practice before you were able to prepare for that. And I think that that's exactly what you're doing for the people that you work with and giving them that practice. And I
totally. Yeah, and being able to provide that extra space and that shame-free opportunity to play and to practice.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my work is quieting the shame voices that come along with not being perfect and not being able to be patient with the process. Every single time one of my female leaders or entrepreneurs starts to beat herself up for not doing a practice, for not taking this on perfectly, for saying something and having it taken the wrong way. It's like, hey, quiet the shame voice. We don't need that. Not in the front seats. They can go in the peanut gallery.
Exactly.
We actually need patience and logical thinking and support. I think that the three best ways to get rid of perfection is patience, partnership, and play.
I love all of those. I need them all.
Yeah.
I need them all. And I know all of you out there need them as well. I want people to follow Fan. I'm obsessed. It's an obsession. You're going to be obsessed with her as well. She's literally my new best friend. I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you. How do they follow, Fan, and like you, my darling?
Yeah, so go to coachingwithlp.com. That's my website. You can learn all about me and my process of falling up the stairs and what that looked like. And I also have a Facebook community specifically for coaches, servant leaders, and entrepreneurs called Coaches Creating Community with a capital UNITY. So you can find me on Facebook as well, or you can follow me on Instagram, Coaching with LP, and I will like you, follow you, friend you, interact with you. I am here to build relationships and connect. That's why I'm on this planet. I'm very clear on that. So yeah,
I love it. Well, I am united with her. You must be united with her as well. I mean, the unity is necessary, people, and you need to get in within her community as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks, Shell. It was such a pleasure. Let's do this again.
Twist my arm. Believe me, you'll be seeing her very, very shortly. I am so excited. This is the perfect way for me to start my week. From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Cheldin Barlatt Rumer, and we will see you soon. Take care.